What's up guys, it's Minx, and in today's video we're going to debug some code that someone else wrote. So someone was following along with the video series and they got to a point where they couldn't figure out what's going on. I did a preliminary look at the code and I didn't see any immediate issues. In fact, to me it looked like everything had been copy and pasted, but there's an issue somewhere and I couldn't tell what it was. So we're going to go through the debugging process. I figured this would be useful as like a generic concept to learn from. It's like, hey, I have this error, I can't figure out what it is. What's the process for fixing this? So I haven't actually done any real debugging. So what we're going to do is I've already downloaded it, had them upload it to GitHub so I could take a look. And I do want to say thank you very much for being, let's say, brave enough to allow someone else to look at your code when it's not working to figure out what's going on. I know that can be a little scary. To be honest, it was scary the first few times because criticism can be pretty harsh sometimes. So we're going to take a look at it and we're going to if you're opening any project from GitHub that has references that can't be included, we're going to go through all of that today. So they provided a whole solution file and everything. So here it is. They've called it the same thing. I mean, it literally looks like I seriously thought like they copied the code and it fried and I couldn't tell why it was working. And we're going to go ahead and open it up. And once you're in, it's going to just kind of do this. And let's go ahead and drop this down and let's open plugin. Now, this thing has, no references. We're going to get a lot of errors, and this may have tossed a few people off when they were originally trying to open up another project. In fact, the first time I tried to open a project and added source code, I saw these errors. I had no idea what the heck was the issue. But if we look at references here, we see all these triangles. We got to fix these. Fix or remove anything that's not used. For example, I happen to know that we're not going to be using asset bundle or core bundle here, so that's probably not going to be needed. But that was probably used from an older video. That isn't being referenced here anymore and then not removed, which is fine. So let's go ahead and firstly add our references like we normally would. Now we have a bunch of references here. I'm gonna skip past these because some of them are for an old area. So I'm just gonna hit browse and mine's gonna take me right to where I need to because I've already been here. But if it doesn't, just remember you can right click on the game, manage the files and browse to local to get here. So we always need the Harmony and Bepinex. We're just gonna add those. And then if we go back to Lethal Company, we go to the data, managed, we need assembly C sharp. Let's just keep scrolling down here. I know we're just going to see a lot of what we need. We probably don't need that. We need, right in the Unity, this is where we start needing things. We need none of these. We might need input. We could also look here and compare, but I'm not going to do that. So let's see, let's just keep going, keep going, keep going, going. I think we need Unity.TextMex Pro. Yep, we do. So we'll hold down Control and click on that. We'll keep going. We don't need the asset bundle. We'll probably remove that. We do need the core bundle. We do need Unity Engine.dll. Let's see. We'll just keep going. IMGUI. I know we need that because of the menu that we're using. And let's see here. I think we're going to need some text stuff. I think text rendering. Text rendering, yep. And then UI. So we'll do UI, UI elements, and UI module, because I don't know which of those are we actually need and don't need. So we'll hit OK. And that should fix most of them. I think we can get rid of these other ones. We're going to go ahead and remove them. And if we try and build it and get an error, then we'll know what to do to fix it. So let's go ahead and build. And it looks like we failed, so I did miss something. It looks like, oh, we did need netcode. Where did netcode get used? Did it even get used in here? I'm going to go ahead and get rid of, no, it's grayed out. We're going to go ahead and get rid of netcode. And it looks like we are using a network behavior. Oh yeah, we do need the network behavior. Okay, so we need to unity.netcode.runtime. So we'll go ahead and find that. I think I have it here, unity.netcode.runtime. Just you can find it in the list if it's not showing here on your previously used. All right, we'll go ahead and try and build again, see if I'm missing anything else. Looks like I am. First time I did this, I didn't, because I ran through this part, I didn't have any issues. Network object. Using unity.netcode. Okay, I removed it and I actually needed it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's save and try and build one last time, and it worked. Okay, so we built for debug. Let's go ahead and manage our open folder in path. Let's go to the debug here, and let's go ahead and grab the mod, and let's drop it in our, let's hop out here. Is it here? Nope, I'm gonna have to go ahead and grab my browse local files. I think I have to, and we're gonna go here, plugins, and okay. Firstly, we have to what do you call it? Reproduce the issue. We have to follow the steps to reproduce. So my understanding is, for example, when he tried to spawn enemies, he would get an error saying, "Hey, the integer, or make sure that's an integer." And this is actually something I intend on changing the status codes to be a little bit better, because right now the status codes suck. Instead of doing like a true or false, I'll probably do like an integer or have it return a string error code. But okay, so I know that if I press escape now, it should, now enemies should be loaded. Actually, check the console, see if we have any errors. Let's see here. Looks like LC tutorial mod loaded. Chain, everything's good. I don't have any other mods that would be conflicting. This is the only mod, and no other comments saying, hey, there's an issue or an error. Okay, so let's resume. No enemies can't spawn yet. Okay. Now that we're in a game, let's go ahead and spawn. Let's do a mouth dog. And we're going to go ahead and spawn one. Nothing's coming up. Let's take a look. Okay. So, utility spawn enemy at random location is causing an issue. Let's go ahead and try and do spawn enemy near selected player. Able to spawn enemy near player, check the player ID, so it is going in there and erroring out inside. However, this one didn't get a full, null reference, it just errored out, so that's okay. Let's go ahead and try to do another random spawn. And it looks like spawn random isn't even getting to the point where it's returning anything, it's just, oh, it is finding the enemy though. Okay, this is interesting. So, we see a couple different interesting behaviors. Let's go ahead and go out of this. Let's go back, and so firstly, let's kind of follow the trace here. So the first thing that happens before we're even trying to spawn enemies is plugin is loading, and it is calling, or it's patching the quick menu and the ROM manager. So those things are getting patched. Let's go into the patch and make sure that the patch is calling what you expect it to. So start of round is not used. That's my bad. The round manager is calling, it's saying if our enemy spawns are not fixed, let's go ahead and fix them. And it's setting our indoor and outdoor list. So let's go into utilities and let's make sure that fix indoor and fix outdoor are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, I mean, I'd be amiss if I could say I found anything wrong with the code here. It's the same ugly code that I wrote. In fact, I think these variable names are all exactly the same, so that's fine. Everything looks fine, and it returns. So as long as that's being called, that should be working. I'm going to add a print here, and since it's a temporary print, I'm just going to do a console.writeLine. I hate doing that, but it's the best thing I could do, really. It's fast. I will say enemy spawns fixed. And okay, so let's go back to the utility, and it's being fine here. So what we're going to do is after this is done, we're going to say if this is not equal to null, console.writeLine, indoor enemy list set. The reason I want to do that is I want to see if it's actually fixing it or if it's just calling it and then not actually fixing it. And our list will still be null if it's not fixed. So we're going to try that. And I also want to get, let's say there are enemies, and we're going to do a $sign here. Going to get this dot count. Okay, so that'll give us a idea. If we don't see anything else, enemies aren't actually getting fixed. Okay, so we've got a print there. This will tell us, what's going on if that's the issue. Let's move on to the next thing. I know they're going to get a little excessive here. Normally, if I were doing this on my own, I would just stop here, test it out, and proceed and see if this is the issue before doing anything else. I'm going to add a few more prints though because we're doing this together. So let's go to the mod menu and see how this is looking. So when we're calling the spawn enemy randomly, so we're here. So we are calling GameMaster Utilities to spawn enemy at random location. We are getting an integer to if the parse passes, we are resulting in an integer and succeeding. So let's go to spawn enemy at random location. Now, to be fair, neither one worked, so I doubt it is an issue with that particular code, but we don't know. So we did get this called every now and then. I saw it start getting called, and something else was a uh, oh, current level? Is current level being set? That might be the issue. Current level. I think that might be it. Let's go ahead and add that real quick. If it's that simple, it's that simple. Sometimes it is as simple as missing one line of code. So in our instance vars, our current level, firstly, let's go back. Current level, not this, tutorial mod base dot instance dot current level equals new level. Okay, let's save that, build it. And let's see. I think that's probably going to be the issue if I'm not mistaken, because what I think ended up happening was current level wasn't getting set, and then it ended up coming here, and it couldn't spawn the enemy because we can't say spawn the index of this enemy from current level because it didn't exist. And then the only other thing I want to do for this at the moment is looking at round manager. So the instance, so just to make sure that it is working, so we're going to say new level dot, or no, not new level, excuse me, current level dot enemies equals indoor enemy list, and dot outside enemies equals outdoor enemy list. And I'm going to go a little excessive here because outside enemies is not really the, there's also daytime enemies. So we could get like dogs to spawn. I think that might have been the issue, and this video might actually be shorter than I thought. I had missed that myself, to be honest, repeatedly. So let's go ahead and build it, and let's see here. We are in debug. This is this one. Let's go here. Replace it. Let's give it a test. It may have just been that one line of code. Kind of upset that I caught that. It would have been nice to take a little bit longer to go through and draw out some print statements and stuff. But, sometimes we do what we do. Let's go ahead and host. I'm still going to leave those print statements in there, just in case. It's possible I didn't figure out the issue. So I'll go ahead and start it. Okay, do mouth dog. And we're going to do one enemy. And we're going to spawn it. Looks like it succeeded. Now, before we go in there, let's take a look at the console. So, let's see here. Gotta find this. So many. What is that? Here we go. Enemy spawns fixed, and we let sit. There are 12 enemies. Okay, perfect. Let's go find. Let's spawn a. Oh, there's the dog right there. Let's spawn it near me. And there they go. Okay. So it appears that's what the issue was. I realize I have my sound on. I apologize. Appears that's what the issue was. It appeared it was probably just setting of the new level because we were getting a null reference. The null reference was either equal to one of these lists, Either that or, yeah, it was either that list or, um, let's see, current level that enemies, or could be current level. Any variable we're referencing here could be null. That's not from within. Enemy name couldn't be null because enemy name comes from here. Index couldn't be small or couldn't be null. Uh, Indoor enemy list could have been null. That's what I was checking. That was the first line of defense. And then if we go down, we notice that current level was likely what was null, and that turns out to be the answer. So that's sort of a process for debugging. I know it was ended up being a simple one-line fix. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't immediately obvious. Getting a null reference, it's like, well, what was null? What line was it exactly? So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day.